What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. One of my sponsors, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. You also know I'm a Weeble, preferred blitzer, best promotion in the pinned comment. All you need to do, click the link, open an account, agree to the terms and conditions. They are going to give you free stock, and I am blown away. Madden is going to come out tomorrow. This is the gameplay they're sharing, and it is awful. And if this doesn't prevent you from buying this game, then nothing will. We're going to look at 3 plays here. Every one of these plays, if you've played Madden, you've experienced, and you need to ask yourself, why am I going to buy a game? You need to ask EA, why are you selling me a game where you haven't made improvements to things we've asked for as a community to be fixed year after year after year? Now, I know some people are going to excuse this away as incompetence on the user's part, and we are going to get into that and address it head on, but this is a goal line run. Everyone's been there in the game. You've got the numbers game set up. You're going to try to rush to the outside, and for some reason, because the offense never seems to understand it's at the goal line, you don't have aggression in going out and picking up someone to block. Because when you look at X's and O's, you've got 2 players here to go out and aggressively get these defenders blocked and clear a running lane. But in Madden, it doesn't happen. Why? Because we're doing this jogging. When you split this and you look at just man on man, there's not anyone engaging in blocks to the running side of this play, and it doesn't make any sense. You have to go out and put a hat on a hat for a run play to work, and Madden just doesn't have that logic. The linemen, the blockers, they take this illogical arc to go out that leaves you nowhere to go as a running back. You're all trying to get to the same spot, which is into the end zone, but Madden doesn't seem to replicate that mindset in its players. Rebuilt, rewired, right? Now let's move forward because I know you've all been here. Safety is going to come down. We're going to watch all these at speed, and then we're going to go back and look at what happens. In this case, you have a lineman that doesn't know AI-wise how to adapt. So as you can see, slow down. Safety is going to come over. The game has to account for this. This lineman right here, we're going to call him, we're going to call him Clint. So Clint now has 3 players that he might have to block. So as Clint goes to drop back, the safety is going to go back into coverage. This confuses Clint, and he doesn't know what to do. So Clint gets to this point right here, and now there are 2 players that are going to have a direct path to the quarterback. You can't read this collapsing fast enough because your lineman is blocking no one. All you can do is tap a pass button, hope the ball gets thrown away, doesn't turn into a sack, doesn't turn into a fumble, doesn't turn into an interception, and Clint is just standing there. This is what happens when you have someone that was on a practice squad trying to program a game for 10 straight years. All it takes is the user to run a player over top of a lineman to confuse them to the point they don't know how to block. Now, moving forward, logic. Blocking logic again, but in a different mindset. Animation logic. Having enough animations to complete a play. That's what we're talking about here. We're going to talk about not running out enough, but animations and physics are key in any sports game. When you take a look at this run here, I want you to focus on this linebacker and the tight end that should be going out to block him. Because this linebacker right here is the key to the whole play being blown up. And he doesn't do anything special to blow up this play. He's not a playmaker. You have all of this open field. If you're the halfback, there is one defender standing at the 30-yard line. This is what you dream about in getting open field runs. But with Madden, it doesn't happen. Why? Because look at the tight end. Look at him go out and turn outside. He doesn't even try to engage with the linebacker. Now he's running with him. He won't even go out to the second level. And this is where people start to say, oh, you have to run at a larger arc. You have to set that block. That block doesn't matter if you don't have enough animations. And when these players go to collide, there isn't an animation. This is why they sell you thousands of animations in the game. Physics-based gameplay. Because they know you've had this moment right here where players go to collide and just crash test dummies. They're just running together. It is a mess. Players break tackles, break out of tackles, fall down. We don't want this in a football game. And we shouldn't have to settle for it in a football game. And that's not the last play we're going to talk about. And again, this is gameplay they gave to someone. EA signed off on this and said, yeah, this is what we want to showcase to the community. Got referees back in the game. The penalties are there, but let's look at the gameplay that leads to it. Okay, I want you to, again, focus on Clint. Clint is pulling to the opposite side of where pressure is coming from. Now, this in and of itself isn't the biggest issue, but it's going to cause a player to come free through the line. But that's okay because our halfback is there. And our halfback should be able to pick up the block. But watch how our halfback operates. He is going to run forward and then in line. And I've highlighted him here because I want you to pay very close attention to the lack of animations that this game has, because he doesn't have a blocking animation from this angle. It might be a block in the back, so he starts sliding. How do you read that as a gamer? How do you read that as someone trying to play football? All of these things are so against the fundamentals of X's and O's. Football accounts for player versus player battles. It is dependent on you understanding one player strength, one player weakness, and using them against each other to get the result that you want. When a play is drawn up, whether it's trying to get a ball carrier into the end zone or it's trying to make one player the focal point of an offense, you have to understand how to read an offense, read a defense. And with that comes certain things that you expect the game to be able to know how to do. One of them is blocking. One of them is consistency in interactions. But this game has failed to do that for so long. These are just a handful of examples in one quarter that show you the game is still struggling. And I would challenge anyone with a straight face to sit here and say they're going to fix this overnight. Because if you're honest with yourself and you've played this game, you know these issues have been in the game for years. That means this footage right here, where the lineman looks like he's got a titty, is the same footage you're going to actually be playing with your pre-order. The player models look awful. I don't even have time to talk about the player models because the gameplay is so bad. I'll deal with the worst looking player models you can imagine if you can give me fundamental X's and O's, solid football gameplay. But anyone that has played this game for more than 2 years knows EA Sports does not provide that to us. They promise us this year more than ever before. That last year, well, that was supposed to be for John Madden. This year, it's supposed to be for their jobs. So they came out, rebuilt, rewired. But when you look at this gameplay and you sit there and you ignore all the hype, all the trailer, all the promotion, all the other channels that tell you how much better the game is, and you look at the game for what it is and how it plays, there is no way that you don't see the same game that you've played for the past 5 years. Just with a brighter screen, a different presentation, and a new scoreboard. And that's what EA banks on every single year. Selling you the same game, but telling you it's not. That's why in 2 months, nobody will be playing this game. That's why in 6 months, this game will be free. Love to know your thoughts on it. Appreciate you watching it. You know, when it's the same game every year, there is no way that I cannot be back in the week with more commentary.